Hello everybody, it's me John, aka Nosey, and I'm back, yes, for a Transformers review. Today's review, as you can see by the title page, I'm talking about a Dinobot today. It is obviously Swoop. SS86, Studio Series 86, Swoop. Let's get into this. Let's talk about this awesome bird boy. And I'm just going to give a nice close-up because it's just easier with him being a bird. Just the whole, I've got to do the woo, got to do the whole spiel. Here is Swoop, SS86 Swoop, and you know what? He's really cool. I think I'm missing one. I thought I had all of them, but I am actually missing one, which I believe is Slug, the Triceratops. Or in the UK is known as slag, but it's a bad word in the UK, so it is now Slug. And absolutely gorgeous. Just look at that. I mean, this is the first time of me opening this. I've been completely neglecting a lot of the figures that I've bought recently, or within the last so many months. And this guy was behind the sofa, and I was like, that guy needs to be taken out the box, and I want to review it. So, isn't he gorgeous? Swoop. I mean, just look at the colours on this. I mean, you got the gold, you got the silvers, you got the signature blue and red. It's Swoop. It looks like Swoop straight out the cartoon or out of the movie, and he's just flipping gorgeous. I just love this guy. The only downside is there's no articulation with the pterodactyl head because of the way that they've gone and designed it. Yeah, it's basically all connected. It's literally just the way it's all connected. It's sort of like a mask that goes over the robot mode head. That's how they've designed this guy. So that's the only downside, is you can't get any actual movement of the head. But everything else is movable. Like the wings, of course, are double jointed. That you've got articulation, so you can fold them up. And obviously you can have the full wingspan, as you can see, and then you can kind of like make them a little bit stubbier, like as he's known for robot mode and such. So yeah, there is articulation in this mode, but you just can't move the head except for the mouth, the jaw, that does move as well. But that's as much as I can really say about this. But let's put him down a second, and he can do something pretty cool that is straight out the movie. It's like, tell us the good part. That kind of thing, where he's being real excited and, and he sat down like a good little boy when Cup was telling his war stories. That is something you can do with this guy, which I think is really cool. And this is exactly what I was talking about. He can do his like sitting down thing, but I remember this from the movie. Went in the movie, and he's like Grimlock and Slug and Swoop and Snarl. All of them were just sat around in a little circle talking, listening to Cup with his war stories, and you just see like Swoop kind of like in this seated position with his wings folded in, kind of like hugging himself in a way. Turn him around so you can get a look-see at the back, get a little bit more of a closer look, but it is really nice. I mean, the detailing, the paint application is really, really nice. But, and as you can see on the chest there as well, I mean, what I love about how this transforms, I mean, yeah, mine doesn't really stay in, it stays as best as possible, but it's one of those type of figures that you move something and everything just unpegs relatively quite easily. That's another downside to this guy, but other than that, he is a really nice figure. But I do like how the chest and everything just completely collapses in on itself. I think it's actually quite clever. It's really easy transformation. Out of all the Studio Series figures, I think this guy's the easiest, absolutely, because he pretty much just stands, he just literally just bends in on himself. There's very little to the transformation, but it is really nice. It is really nice. But anyway, so I'm going to transform him now because there's nothing more I can really say about this. But first and foremost, let's just get these wings up and out the way, like so, which you can actually make them a little bit shorter, the wingspan, which is cool. So you can actually have it full wingspan where you have that curvature in the wing, and then you can have it just as like stubby wings. So it's like your preference, I guess. And then also they can completely bend right in. So what I'm going to do is take these off, which is accessories, which I will get to in a moment. Take those off, and then what you do is they peg in to the back of the arms to kind of keep it all rigid. So if you unpeg them from the back, they can kind of like come to the sides like that, and then you just sort of bit. So first and foremost is then it's just make it simple for ourselves. The legs literally just fold in on themselves, so you just literally unpeg them from that little peg bit there, and then there's like a recess behind this bit, and then you just extend those legs like so, little ratchet in there, which is nice. And then the feet, you just pull those feet out, and then these blue bits are his like heels, so you just pull those out. So that's the legs pretty much done, and then these bits that were like the beast mode the little feet, you just fold them in to make the kneecaps, and then that's the legs pretty much done. Now we can stand up. Then the arms are pretty much as they are. All you really do with this step is you just take the fist out like so. So it's a really simple transformation on this one. Well, they all are pretty simple, to be honest, but then what I love about this bit is this is the chest, and to fit the other chest is it's on like a rotating bit. Let me just. So it's in two separate stages, and you just rotate it back on both sides, and you get that recess, this gap in between, and that's basically what you do there. Now what you do is that this little bit here, it kind of like plugs into the top of the robot mode head, and like I said, it's like a mask. So what this now does is it comes down, is the whole chest sort of like pulls further apart, and then that allows clearance then for this bit to come down, and you just close that up at the top there, and then that's basically reveals the robot mode head. And then what you do is there's these little recesses, like little recesses in the side, and then they just come together, and that is practically done. Now just to sort out these wings, and there is Swoop in robot mode. It is a really quite straightforward transformation. It basically just his legs just fold in, and it's just mostly this bit just comes up and plugs into the head. Now, yeah, it's obviously now that I've got him transformed, that head does indeed, the robot mode head does indeed have full ball joint articulation. But obviously when this is plugged in, it literally plugs into like a recess at the top. This bit here plugs into a recess at the top of the head, and once that's happened, it's all fixed in place, and there's no articulation in basically alt mode basically. But articulation is really cool, as you come to expect. The only downside is that you are a little bit restricted by the wings, but it's fine. I mean, when it comes to anything like a bed or plane, that comes to be expected. But yeah, good articulation in the arms, waist, full 360. The legs can go there, bend, really good bend at that knee because of transformation. And then obviously you've got foot pivot and so on, as you will come to expect nowadays. But yeah, good articulation, good posability. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about his weapons. So let me just put Swoop over here for a second. So he comes with two swords, both red, these big massive red like claymore type swords. He has this one that's more like a standard one. Yeah, so he has that one, and then he has this one, which is more like a slightly shorter. Yeah, it's a shorter blade. There's this one as well. And then he comes with these, which two identical. These are like his wing blaster things that go on the wings to finish off the finish off the mode. Right, so I've literally just realised I made a mistake with the wings. This is how you do the wings. You fold them back on themselves, and they just kind of like do that. I had them transformed incorrectly, which I just wanted to just rectify. But now those missile things, like I told you, is missile like blaster wing blasters. They just basically just plug into the recesses. There is also a second recess which I neglected to show, but this is obviously for his alternative mode. You can plug them in there as well. So you've got two ways of storing these in both modes. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. I mean, I love these. These are nice. But what I like about them is as well is that you can actually wield them as a weapon, as like a handheld actual weapon, as well as he has his two swords. So for the review, I'm just going to plug these swords into the hands. They're nice and snug. Like so. And there we are. There he is with his swords. So yeah, he has two swords, and he's two of these are the blaster things. Really nice. But now look at just a quick look at the paint application in robot mode. Just look at that gold, on the silver and gold. Lovely, lovely sheen on there. It's just a beautiful. The amount of articulation on this thing is just very nice. The only what I like as well is that there's hardly any kibble on this thing either. Basically, just being a big like bared brick in a way when it's in the alt mode. But yeah, there's nothing there. It would have been nice if they might have been able to like kind of put like a little panel there to kind of like so you don't all see this like hollow parts to him. But it's like obviously it's how it transforms. It's like it collapses in the way that the chest like collapses in on itself. It's just how it's designed. But it is a nice figure. It is relatively quite clean. It doesn't, there's not too much back cable or anything like that. It's just the wings that hang. But it is a really, really nice figure. And that head sculpt is nice as well. It is really nice. And there we have it. Thank you so much for watching my review on Swoop. He is a really, really awesome guy. He is really, really nice. I love finally getting him out of the box and actually having a good play with him and transforming him and everything. It's a really simple transformation, like I said. Very, very simple, but yeah, it's a nice representation of Swoop, and I'm very happy to have him. I just need to get Slug. Slag. I need to get him to complete them all, but hopefully maybe TF Nation I might be able to track one down. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support on the channel. I know I've been a bit lapsy-daisy when it comes to uploading stuff and when it comes to toys. I just thought, why not? I'm just going to do a review on a toy, on a Transformer. Things are still... I'm not sure where things are going to go going forward. I don't know whether I'm going to continue buying Transformer toys or if I'm just going to slow down a little bit when it comes to purchasing new toys and just be a little bit more pickier. It's just, at the moment, it's just, as you all know, a majority of you will know, is I've been a bit burnt out with the review thing on the toy side, and I've been wondering of what to do in order to bring something different to the channel, to keep the channel going. I still haven't really come up with anything, but I am still going to be buying the odd toy here and there. I'm never going to not stop buying toys altogether. It's just I think I'm going to be a bit slower on the purchasing side, which means there's probably going to be less reviews of Transformers toys going forward, but there will still be some, but I want to kind of change things up and a little bit of a different dynamic on the channel when it comes to videos, but you will see in due course with what I mean once I finally get some sort of you know, once I get the changes out the way and come up with something different. But thank you for the support. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for subscribing. I'm only about, as of me recording this vlog, I am 5 subscribers away from 700 subscribers. So thank you ever so much to everyone that has subscribed. Thank you for almost 700 subscribers. It is insane that I'm almost at 700. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for subscribing. Please continue to check my videos out, and if you're brand new, please consider subscribing. Let's see if I can hit that 700. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.